What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're gonna do something a little different. As you know, my job right now as an investor, I take a lot of pitches in the technology space and the startup space. And a lot of them are around like crypto and NFTs and things like that. So I get a lot of questions about, hey, what is a blockchain? What is crypto? What is an NFT? So I decided, why not shoot a video today where someone is asking me questions about NFTs and I try my best to answer them. I decided to pick the mastermind, the creative genius behind all the editing of the videos that you see here on my channel, Sam. So Sam is my editor and a good friend of mine, and he is also one of the individuals who's been asking me tons of questions about NFTs. So stay tuned. Okay, everyone, so here we are. I got Sam with me. Like I said, Sam is the person that I luckily found like winning the lotto to pretty much edit all the videos here and help me with some of the creative tasks as far as like ideas and things like that. The guy is just a genius, so I'm super thankful to have him. And he's also been the one that's asking a lot of questions about NFTs, as a lot of you have on Twitter and YouTube and things like that. So Sam, how about you introduce yourself just a little bit for the people that are watching?
Hi everyone, my name is Sam. Like Scott said, I am a genius and a video editor. So I live out in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I run my own video editorial company. I love it. I have learned so much about business and life and technology from the few months that Scott and I, actually almost a year, which is crazy to think about. It's been almost
it
a
has
year.
been almost a year.
But I'm
crazy.
like, what? I know.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday. But basically, knowing Scott has changed my life, and I truthfully can say that because had it not been for Scott and I and our partnership, my life would have not reached the scale it has. And I'm just so thrilled to be sitting down and finally making a video together for your channel, and I can ask you all the questions I've been dying to ask.
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear the questions. I know you sent some of the questions over ahead of time, but you know me, like I try not to, I just try to be random and kind of be on camera. So I didn't really read a lot of the questions. So I'm super excited to hear what you have to say, and let's kick it off. Let's go for it.
All right, so I love thinking about the fact that this word NFT has been thrown around so much all over the internet and all over TV over the last 6 months. And it's one of those things where, yet again, it's been here for a while, but now that celebrities are hooking their names to it, it's popularized it. You told me about what NFTs truly were months ago when you and I had dinner here in the city, but I still don't understand what the hell is going on. So what is an NFT?
Yeah, I feel like I could talk about what is an NFT for a year and still not really truly understand it, but I'll do my best. So let's talk about what NFT means, the actual acronym. So NFT stands for a non-fungible token, which basically just means something that can't be traded, right? It's unique, it's one of one. If you compare that to something that is fungible, let's say like a dollar bill, right? If you rip up a dollar bill right now, that can be replaced with another dollar bill that's as equal value. But with an NFT, if I were to somehow get rid of an NFT, it cannot be replaced. It's gone forever. It's you can't do anything with it because it's gone. So it cannot be traded or replaced. And that's basically at the core, that's what NFT means. So in practice, what is it really? That's tough, and that's still being defined. But I think what most people think of when they hear the word NFT, they think of like, ape art, right? Like pixel art,
Yeah,
right?
what is that?
That's just the current trend of how NFTs are being used. At the end of the day, really what an NFT is, this non-fungible token. And let's forget about crypto. Let's forget about blockchains. Let's just focus on NFT. It's just some type of certificate, some type of proof that you own something digital. That's it. And I put quotes around digital because even that's going to change soon. People might use NFTs to own physical things. And I'm starting to see that now.
Okay, but then why the apes? Like, how did that become why? So, because I'm not going to lie, it makes the people that I am surrounded by every single day so apprehensive to even want to educate themselves on NFTs, because I'm in the same boat. I'm like, if it's just a whole bunch of fucking random ass ape art that Justin Bieber's buying for $23 million, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, you have to separate the NFT technology from how it's being used. Okay.
Hmm.
making apes and arts is one way how people are using NFTs. Like, associating the two is like saying like, oh, any certificate, any diploma, any proof of anything today is all bad because someone used it to prove something like silly. So therefore, any college degree that you ever had in your life it means nothing because because there's this one college out there that's scammy and their certificate means nothing. So all certificates mean nothing, right? Like NFTs are completely separate than the art that people are using them for. That just made sense because the art industry has been popular with people just running rampant with plagiarism and artists being underpaid and different things like that. So this is just a way for artists to make money through digital scarcity, right? Because before an NFT, I can draw something and I can put it on like some art marketplace and have people buy it, and I gotta like license it out to them. But then like who's really stopping these people from like going and using this stuff? And right, it's really not. And even with NFTs, there's nothing stopping you. You can still go out
Yeah.
and right click someone's ape and use it. So that doesn't really solve the problem. But what it does solve is that like now that the artist has control over what is the authentic versions and what aren't the authentic
Totally.
versions, they can be compensated for their work
Hmm.
whenever those artworks are traded on an auction and things like
Hmm.
that. So
Hmm.
the apes just came from a group of people who had some particular art style, and they were like, we want to
Hmm.
monetize this, so we're going to make a bunch of one of ones, 10,000 apes or whatever, that are all unique. So a lot of people might look at them like, oh, that's just you know people money grabs and pyramid schemes and all this stuff. But the way I look at it is like,
Yeah.
these are creators that are making a shit ton of money off of the really cool art that they have, and they found a way to make it scarce because in the real world the Mona Lisa is scarce. It's one of one. There's only one of them. So that's, if there were a million Mona Lisas, it would not be valuable, right? It's
No.
valuable because it's only one. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is how you make something digital scarce. So some people might not like it, but in reality, it's already been happening in a analog world, and now this is the digital version of it. So the apes just took advantage of it.
Got it. Okay. You gave me a brilliant example, but because it was over drinks and food, my mind has not been able to like grasp on to all those details. But you gave me a brilliant example for dinner, and it was using NFTs when it comes to owning property, using NFTs in a very legal way, which I think is interesting. But for me, I'm still trying to figure out what the purpose would be because you
Hmm.
still have this tangible paperwork that says I own this house or this business is mine.
NFTs for access is another utility that I'm starting to see a lot of people develop with. Like, so we're kind of moving out of the phase of like 2D pixel art. For instance, imagine you wanted to teach some courses on video editing or cinematography or anything like that, right? But you wanted to keep it high quality because you were going to engage your students quite often, maybe like in a Discord or a forum setting. So you didn't want to like potentially reach hundreds of thousands of students and do like this money grab and have like this lower quality, video on demand. You wanted something more engaging. So you needed to keep the number of students low, right? But at the same time, you still need to pay the bills. So like you can't like, I can only give out 500 seats to my class,
Mhm.
but then how am I going to pay my bills? I'm only going to get paid one time for this. I have to charge like $20,000 a seat or something. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not realistic, right? Okay, so if you use an NFT to monitor the access of how people can use your content, you can think of the NFT as like a door. It's like a gatekeeper. Now what people can do, let's say I want to look at your course, I want to be in that community and engage with you. I can go mint or buy one of the NFTs that allow me to log into your platform. And then once I get the value that I want, I can go resell that NFT to someone else. And because you minted it, you should have put some type of royalty claim on it, maybe 10%,
Yeah.
15%. So every time that subscription changes to someone else's hands, you get another cut. And if your content is good and it remains scarce, the value of those NFTs go up every time they're resold. So you're still making money off the same 500 subscriptions that you made a year ago because they're probably in different people's hands now. And all you have to
Yeah.
do is just make really good content and stay engaging. And the
Wow.
utility around that NFT, is going to drive that price. The media loves to talk about all the scams and the pixel art, but in reality,
Uh-huh.
that's just, the consumer side of this technology. In the business world, there's so much exciting stuff happening that one, the media doesn't understand it because it's very technical, and two, it's
Hmm.
boring enough that they don't want to talk about it. But there are some pretty exciting use cases happening with NFTs right now.
How would you pitch the importance of NFTs to either a Gen Zer or a young millennial? Because again, my Twitter feed, people are just ripping them apart every single day. And there's just the memes and the videos, and like I understand and I see their perspective, but I
Yeah,
so
yeah,
badly want to be like, guys, that's because like you just said, the media has it all not wrong. They're only showing like the fluff pieces, like Paris Hilton on
right.
Jimmy Kimmel. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on here?
Yeah, I think it's important because, especially with the next generation of folks who are, heavily into consuming and creating content, is this is how you own your content. This is how you monetize your content. Like right now, as a TikToker or Instagram influencer, you get paid because the platforms decide to pay you, right? They can do whatever they want with your data. But with this technology, you decide when you get paid and how you get paid. And there's no entity that at any point can decide like, oh, actually we're going to change the algorithm, or we're going to change how often we pay you based on cost per click or cost per view or
Mhm.
impressions. It's never going to happen because that entity has been replaced with a public database that's encrypted that no one can change, so everyone can see what's going on but no one can actually see anything. It's kind of weird how that works. And you replace a bunch of lawyers and contracts and terms of services with code that executes guaranteed every time. There is no gray, there's no border between like, oh yeah, we would have paid you, but this clause over here says that because of this. Nope. As soon
Mhm.
as the right circumstances happen, you get paid immediately, on
Totally.
time, every single time. Right. So this is how you monetize that without being blocked by Twitch or banned on Twitter
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
suspended on YouTube. Like it's never going to happen anymore. You can kind of do whatever you want. Whenever something new came out like this in the digital space, there was always, something like this, like, oh my God, the internet is full of scams. You got people
Yeah.
emailing you, right? Like, and it
Uh-huh.
was, like, yeah, you were totally getting scammed on emails and stuff like that. But here we are using the internet, doing an interview right now, and it's
Yeah.
totally fine, right? Like, video games are gonna, these games where kids are, out doing murdering sprees on video games, they're all gonna grow up to be murderers. And it's like, here we are now, every game has some type of gun in it or something. And,
Yeah.
we're all
Uh-huh.
still doing fine. So,
Uh-huh.
there's
Well, most
always
of
going to be
us.
that. Most of us. This is America.
This is America.
But yeah, I think we're in a very early stage still. So a
Totally.
lot of the use cases are just going to be very just like when iPhone first came out and everyone was making millions off like lighter apps and flashlight apps,
How funny is that?
right?
I know, right? And now it's just
Yeah,
part of the phone.
yeah, exactly. So that's where we are now. Like a lot of people are
Yeah.
making money off very trivial things, right? And I
Hmm.
also think that it's really hard to wrap your head around the fact that you're paying something. People are paying millions of dollars for something that anyone can get for free, right? Like
Hmm.
I can literally right click and download the same ape that Jimmy Kimmel and Paris Hilton have right
Yeah.
now. So
Uh-huh.
why the hell did they pay millions of dollars for it? Well,
Yeah.
okay, you could also go get a print of the Mona Lisa right now, and it will be way less than what the original copy was. The question is not whether you can get it. The question is whether you can
Hmm.
sell it, right?
Yeah.
How is it valued, right? You
Hmm.
owning a replica and you being able to have an asset are two different things.
So you said something that reminded me of one of the comments that I saw like recently on Twitter. And it was just someone basically saying that they're fully convinced that NFTs are for rich white people. And I laughed because again, but again, that's just because it's all we're seeing. But
Yeah, yeah.
so you personally here right now, as someone who is definitely not a rich white person, how would you implement an NFT? Like right now in this second, like you could think of one thing, you're like, that is exactly how I would use NFTs in my everyday life.
I think a really good use case for NFTs right now, literally has nothing to do with art, but I'm really into the NFT is access. Like using NFTs to access like physical spaces, right? Like being able to, imagine if you have some co-working space, where it can only have 30 people in it at a time, which is just not enough
Hmm.
space, right? Uh, but 30 people aren't going to pay the bills. So as an owner of this space, you need to find a way to monetize this access, this membership. So what you could do is you create an NFT that represents someone getting access to this building. And in fact, the NFT is what actually unlocks the door. Through your phone. You just tap the door with your phone and that NFT authenticates you getting in. And then at any time, anyone moves or they're like, I don't need the space anymore, I'm going on vacation, they can sell it. They can sell that NFT. And if the space is amazing and it's fostering value in the community, the value of that NFT is going to go up. So when the person sells it, they're going to make their money back. Plus, the creator of the NFT is going to get a percentage of it so they can maintain the space. So the value goes up, which, makes the price go up and it becomes more exclusive, which then does single people out. But just like any market, the way you get around that is you mint more, tokens. You make more, like inflation, right? You mint more tokens, you mint more things that will drop the price of everything. So like if it's less scarce, it's going to be less valuable. I think that there's definitely a future there. And also using NFTs is just like helping with discrimination. Like I can't even tell you how many times as someone who, I would say I do pretty well for myself as far as income and like my credit's pretty good, but I've been like denied so many times for so many things. Like I've had my value of my house be estimated way lower than it should have been because there's pictures of Black people in it and stuff like that. Like it's just crazy. And like the promise of NFTs being there and blockchain in general of, everything being anonymous and instant and reliable and trustless gets me happy because I don't have to deal with discrimination like that anymore. I'm able to, potentially sell the ownership to my house without anyone even knowing who I am, what anything about me or anything like that. And it can happen like right now. I don't have to wait 30 days. I don't have to wait 60 days. It can happen today. I could sell my house today right now and move out. And that to me sounds like a future that I want to be part of, but it also sounds like a headache, and we're not there yet. The infrastructure is not there yet. It's quite a far way out, actually. So, but until then, we'll have to enjoy, 8 JPEGs.
Great! I can't wait to have more of those on my feed. The amount of times I got chills down my neck as you were explaining this in this interview was like amazing, because I can't tell you how important now this interview is going to be, because the amount of videos I have watched on NFTs, I'm walking away like, I just have to text Scott again. I'm like, what?
If I could leave everyone here listening to this with one point, you're not paying for the art. You're not paying for the thing. You're paying for the right to own it, right? Like you have to think about it from a creator's perspective. I want to be paid for my work if I'm making something. And I don't want people profiting off things that I created. I spent a lot of time making something. You might not like it, but someone else does. And I want to be paid for it. And if I did this in the physical world, this wouldn't be an issue. This is so common in the physical world for me to have royalties on something. The whole music industry survives off royalties. Like there's nothing different about that. It's just the fact that so many people have been tricked and conned into doing things, and then we're tying the value of art based on our own opinions about the art. Like you look at an ape and you're like, how is this worth $1 million? I could draw this. Yeah, you probably could. It's not the value of the art. It's a speculative market. It's just like stocks. Like it's just me speculating on something that I think is going to be worth it, and as a whole, that drives the value up or down. Just like any free market, because that's capitalism. Like that's what we're betting on. It has nothing to do with the quality of the art itself.
Sweet. Well, Scott, again, that was all my questions. This was so fucking rad. I am so excited to share this conversation with everyone. And also, we have to acknowledge really quickly for the audience that our very first time video chatting, when we had our first interview together, we noticed we both own the Saturn light from Amazon. Like the second that camera turned on, we were like, what? And then we're like, this is destined to fucking be.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was made to be when I saw that, because I was just like, I could have picked any one of these lights and I picked this one. So
fucking random. All right, sweet. I'll talk to you later, Scott.
All right, Sam, thanks. All right, everyone. I hope you liked this video. I had a bunch of fun answering some of the questions from Sam in the community. I don't pretend to be some expert on this. A lot of the stuff is that, I'm still figuring it out. This is just my perspective on it. So feel free to check me on anything that I said. I'm totally down to have a conversation. And if you like this video, obviously, please leave a like so we can do more of these. Sam puts in so much work on editing this stuff for us and making it look good. The guy's really just a genius. So I'm super thankful to have him. And if you want to see more of this, like also leave a comment below about any of the topics that you want to talk about. We mentioned a bunch of stuff in here that I didn't want to dive deep on because it could be saved for another video. If you want to see that, just list it in the comments and I'll go through. I've read every single one of the comments. And I kind of love this format to kind of mix it up a little bit. It was really fun for me. Sam made it super easy. I just turned on my camera and hopped in, and that was really awesome because I'm super busy. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.